71 Goliath, recycle, mode 2, clear.
Hey there, welcome aboard. This is Stryker, and we are in our A-18C Hornet, sitting on the deck and taxiing over to Catapult 1 on the USS John C Stennis, CVN 74. We're in the Mediterranean off the coast of Syria. Going to be going and making a strike against enemy air defenses. So we're loaded up with a couple of harms. We have 3 TALDs. That's tactical air-launched decoys. I also have 4 AMRAAMs and 2 Sidewinders. We're on the Burning Skies US Command Center server, currently on the Syria map. It's a multiplayer server. Been learning lots about this server, kind of some of the little things that make it tick behind the scenes, and quality of life improvements and stuff. One of them is actually being able to move this carrier. Anybody on the server can move the carrier to where they need it. If you're a Patreon supporter, which I actually just became, you can actually spawn on it. Otherwise, if you're not a Patreon type person, you can land and recover, rearm on it, and launch from it again. So I moved this carrier to be closer to my objective, which is an SA-2 site. It's also guarded by an SA-15. All right, let's get ready to shoot off the cat. Wipe out the controls. Give a salute. Off we go. Clearing turn to the right, flaps up, gears up, let's get rolling. So if you know anything about the SA-15 and trying to take out anything that is close by with a harm, you're going to know you're going to have a tough time. So that's why I brought these TALDs with me. So I actually do 2 strikes against 2 separate targets in this video. That's why it's a little bit longer. So 2 separate sorties. First one, I'm going to, I wanted to kind of demonstrate how I use the TALDs. I'm going to jump to the external view a bunch of times, showing the progress of the TALDs towards the target. And then kind of, it's a bit of a, I guess, an art, or you just take some practice to figure out when you should be firing your harms when you have TALDs in the sky. Because if you fire them too soon, the SA-15 will just blast your harm. Just checking in with the AWACS, make sure there was no known enemy nearby. So I had a rough idea of where the SAM site is. So I keyed that into the nav computer so I know where I'm headed. But I still need to get a good fix on where that SA-15 is, because that's the first one I'm going to take out. If you take out the SA-15, then you can stomp on the SA-2 search track radar with a harm quite easily. Okay, I don't think that guy's a factor, so we're going to get those TALDs underway soon as we get a little bit closer. The SA-2, what I'll do, actually with any of these missile sites, I will usually call up the TALDs once I start getting a lock from the missile site. So from the SA-2, what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to I want to get a good reading on it using the harm seeker. And the one I want is the one that's going to be up near where that diamond is on the HUD. That's my current waypoint. Look at that. That's what we want. So I'll step through them, see what I'm seeing. Oh, we got lock. So let's get those TALDs underway. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to break away. Go back to the harm page. And we'll get ready to engage as those TALDs get closer and start getting fired upon by the SA-2 and eventually the SA-15. So it's out where that diamond is. Picture.
Vaicom 121 STR curve. Magic 11. Enemy aircraft. Bearing 67. Range 64 miles. Altitude 1,000 feet. Cost.
So you should just perform a kind of a lazy turn in one direction or the other. Let those TALDs move in closer. Eventually off in the distance, you'll be able to see some launch trails. There we go. We got a couple going up at them already. You kind of make them out. So in pre-brief mode, I already entered in the code for the SA-15 for the harm code. We're relatively close, so I'm going to do a harm pull-up instead of aircraft pull-up. That means you don't have to pitch up as much. The harm will pitch up and then move in to engage the target. So in harm pull-up mode, we just need to get in between those two inward-facing chevrons. Get the flight path marker in there and squeeze the weapons release, and off they go. Still want those TALDs to get closer. You can hear some of those explosions from the SA-2 engaging them. Looks like we have 2 TALDs left. One was destroyed. That's why I'm kind of popping back and forth between them. So with 2 TALDs, we can kind of give them a little bit more time. So I'm going to make a bit of a tighter turn to the port side here, to the left. We'll start our attack run as we get lined up onto the site. And a nice thing is that SA-2 is expending all of its missiles, and as these guys get closer, the SA-15 will start as well. If the SA-2 is empty, you could actually fly at about at least 25,000, 26,000 feet or higher. That's outside of the engagement zone of the SA-15, and just plunk a bunch of JDAMs on these guys. All right, we're getting closer. It's go time. Let's get that harm down range. Get lined up. Pull up a bit. Squeezing the trigger. Magnum. So you definitely do not want to overfly your target when you're doing a seed mission. After you fire your harm, So we're going to peel off to the left here again. We have another harm left, so that if this one gets shot down, we'll engage that SA-15 again. You can see those SA-2, or maybe those might be the SA-15 missiles going up. That's what I think that those were. Taking out one of the TALDs. So that SA-15 is either too busy on the TALD or it's out of missiles. Let's watch this. Boom. Done. SA-15's done. That clears the way for us to take out the SA-2. I'm just looking down at my knee board. And that little chime you hear means mission accomplished. I selected a mission. It gives me some bonus experience. I was on a seed mission. Just had to destroy one search or track radar SAM vehicle. It's done. Now let's go take out that SA-2 search track radar. Okay, we've got it selected in the harm page. I'm just doing handoff to make sure that I've got the proper one identified. Going to go into pre-brief mode. I entered in the wrong code. I had to do I did SA6 earlier by mistake. I have to do SA2, silly. All right, Magnum. So you notice we're not getting fired at, not getting locked on. The TALD is still overflying the target. The radar is still emitting. It's a little bit wonky because of the point control when I go to external views. All right, let's ride this thing in, take out that radar. Look at that. Dead. Took out a few things. Nice. All right, so I've got to return back to the carrier. Need to enter in the proper ICLS and TACAN frequency, but I entered 19, whereas it's actually 18. You'll see when I go to the HSI and engage those two, I'm still not getting a lock on the signal. It's just off the coast. So that's when I realize I did something wrong. Let's have a look down at that knee board and double check what the frequency is for the ILS and TACAN. And it's 18. Boom. There we go. Got it locked up. ILS is 18 as well. Call inbound. Making sure there's two CVN-74 Stennis, but
Marshall 100.
the other one's too far away.
076 60. Angels 20.5. State 9.1.
All right, so we'll skip the flyback. We're in the initial fly into the break over the carrier. We'll get this thing down. Throttles to idle, begin the left-hand turn, get about 1.2 miles from the carrier. Baseline recovery. And fly in a reciprocal heading. Getting ready to drop the flap and gears. There we go. Flaps and gear. Now we just need to trim for on speed, get down to 600 feet. Okay, we're on speed. So for some reason, the ICLS was kind of hosed. It happens on multiplayer servers a lot. Supposedly, I guess I could have resolved it if I had just placed the carrier again. But once you're up close, it's kind of too late for figuring that out. So it's a bit of a messy landing. Because I kind of have to eyeball the proper glide scope and line up. A little low.
Hornet ball.
100. Hornet ball 3.8.
Roger ball. You're a little low.
Power.
Yep, messy, right? Look at that, all over the place. Well, we'll get her lined up a little bit. Not too bad. I think the LSO is being generous with that grading. Alright, so there's my XPE. We'll taxi off and
Request launch.
rearm refuel. Look at that, already done. The magic of editing. And one thing you need to remember when you recover on a carrier, you need to request launch. You can I'm using voice attack with Vaicom Pro, so I can do it using commands like that. Otherwise, you need to use the command menu to pull it up. Otherwise, these guys will stand around doing nothing and not getting you hooked up. Launch bar down. Let's get ready to go. So I've rearmed the same loadout. 2 harms, 3 TALDs, 4 AMRAMs, and 2 Sidewinders. I'm going to go off and take out a similar site that has an SA-15 guarding an SA-2 site. Kind of the same procedure. Alright. Ready to get in tension. There we go. Up to full, wipe out the controls. Give them the old salute. Get ready to go. Taking off from catapult 4 on the waist. See it clear off to the left. All right, turning back to the base recovery course of the carrier, and then we'll start our climb up to altitude. Just turning my exterior lights off. Double check. All right. All right, so I realized I didn't set my mission yet. So let's dial in the code for our seed mission. Get some extra points for taking out radar. I had dialed in a
Picture.
CAS mission, but I canceled it.
Psycho 121 STR curve, matching 11, enemy aircraft, bearing 66, range 86 miles, altitude 49,000 feet, cost.
All right, so we're getting a little bit closer to shore. We've got an aircraft up front. Looks like it's a hostile. Not getting any IFF responses. Well, that one's the friend, but there's another one past this. So we got one that's closer. That's the JTAC Reaper drone. But off in the distance, we've got that guy. Still a little bit far away, hard to pick him up. All right, we're getting a good track on that other aircraft. I'll switch to track while scan. And we're going to accelerate and climb. He's up pretty high, so AMRAM's got a good reach to him. He's also coming in pretty fast. And Fox 3. Okay, so we need to continue to illuminate that enemy aircraft until the AMRAM goes hot and switches to its internal guidance. This guy's just blazing in at us. Starting to lose track on him though. Yeah, lost my lock. Fire another AMRAAM at him. He's starting to maneuver. I don't think this is going to catch him. He's turning away. Nope. All right, we got to press the attack, get closer. All right.
Nate, Magic 1-1, enemy aircraft, bearing 108, range 88 miles, altitude 19,000 feet, hold.
Okay, if he starts, yeah, he's turning towards the left, so we're getting some decent closure on him. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is switch to the long-range acquisition mode. But I'm used to using the Strike Eagles. I'm hitting the wrong keys. I was going into bore sight mode like on the Strike Eagle. He's facing me, I'm facing him. I got my shot off first. Got him. Look at that. All right, let's get back to air-ground mode. Go take out this SAM site.
Picture.
Yeah, that SU-33 is at 60,000 feet high.
1-1, enemy aircraft, bearing 345, range 25 miles, altitude 60,000 feet, hold.
So it's been explained to me by the guy that runs the server that they'll spawn in at these really high altitudes so that they have enough gas to get towards their intended target. So that guy's actually headed towards someone else out over the Mediterranean, probably someone who took off from Cyprus. So I was going to chase him, but then I figured it's not worth it. I turn around and let's get this SAM site dead. All right, we're much closer to the target. Getting ready to deploy those TALDs. Using the harm page to see what's up ahead. Start seeing if I can break out the individual emitters. So what I'll do is I'll typically step through them and then do a handoff just to see the individual emitter.
Magic 1-1, enemy aircraft, bearing 276, range 49 miles, altitude 43,000 feet, hot.
Put on the SA map. Okay, so we got a little SA-8 just up ahead. We're going to be flying over, so we need to make sure we're high enough over that. I think it was around 22,000 feet, or maybe 18,000. I can forget what the max altitude is on it, but we'll be above it. So now you can see I'm stepping through, do a handoff. When I see the one I want, because there's a couple that are close, then I'll know. And now that box is pretty close to where the diamond is up on the HUD, which is what the harm's going to fly towards in handoff mode. I'm going to get some altitude here. Right now I'm just checking out the max altitude of that SA-8. Yeah, we're in good place here. So we're getting picked up by that SA-2. Time to switch to our TALDs. And 3 away. And back to harm. We're going to make sure we break away so we don't start getting fired upon and have to evade those missiles. They're going to be busy with our TALDs. So I'm going to pull up a roughly perpendicular course to where the emitter is. We can see way out there where that diamond is. That's the site. We're just going to fly on a bit. Just kind of glancing down, see if I can see where that SA-8 site is. Can't see it. It's down there, though. Yeah, we can see the SA-2s already engaging those TALDs. You can see those missile trails. So they're doing their thing. And these SAM sites will typically fire a bunch of missiles at each TALD until they take it out. They still have 3 going. See those missiles flying up at it. They're targeting this guy. Let's see if they hit him. I'm just curious. See that SAM getting closer? Little dot. Is it going to hit him? Oh, it was close, but just missed him. Yeah, we still have three TALDs in the air. That's pretty good. So while those guys are being engaged, I'm going to swing in. I think we can safely head towards our target and get a harm off at that SA-15 site. So just a gentle turn. We're not in a big rush. We want those TALDs to do their thing. Just kind of keep an eye on things. The helmet mounted sight definitely helps with that. Looks like we've lost 1. We're down to 2. Again, if you don't want to switch the external views because it ruins it for you or something, you don't have to. But it's good to do it while you're practicing and kind of pick up on the timing. And each SAM site's going to be unique. All right, we're going to do a harm pull-up again. Get lined up, squeeze that weapons release, and start pulling up on the stick until that flight path marker goes in between the 2 inward-facing chevrons. There we go, Magnum. Roll off away from the site.
Picture.
Echo 1 to 1 STR current. Magic 1-1. Enemy aircraft. Bearing 292. Range 57 miles. Altitude 9,000 feet. Cost.
An Su-33 floating around out there somewhere. He's not a factor yet. Yeah, harm sneaking in on them from the side. Direct hit on that Tor. Look at that. All right, my mission is done. Once again, I could go land and call it a day, but we've got another emitter out there, that search track radar on the SA-2. We could take that out, then we can have a follow-up mission if we want with some JDAMs or Mavericks, whatever you want. I think there's also a search radar out there. It'd be good to go pay a return visit to these 2 sites, take out those search radars and whatever other enemies sitting there in support of them. So we've got our harm code entered in properly. Magnum on that SA-2 search track radar. Break off to the right. Let that do its thing. Let's get into air-to-air mode. And let's plan our exit, because we're done. No more air-to-ground weapons. Got a new waypoint entered in. Gonna go and land at friendly base nearby. It's 28 miles away instead of 170 to the carrier. Look at this. Done. Look at that. 2 SAM sites neutralized.
Picture.
Psycho 121STR current. Magic 11. Enemy aircraft. Bearing 293. Range 67 miles. Altitude 2,000 feet. Cold.
All right, so nothing to worry about with that guy. Got our base nearby. I set up a waypoint to it earlier. Just going to see if there's any other aircraft in the area. No? Oh, looking at my ranking there. So I have a survival bonus. So my scores are multiplied by that, which is really nice. Something I didn't know. You can keep that survival bonus, and it will keep climbing up till it gets to five times. So let's say you kill something, you get 100 XP. It's at 5, you just get 500 for that one kill. Now, to preserve that XP bonus, something I didn't know, after you land, you need to power down your engines, shut them down. And you'll get a message after they've completely shut down that it's secured. So now you can go and switch to another aircraft, or you can go offline. When you come back, that XP bonus is still going to be there for you. I used to just exit the game, and I kept losing my bonus. It's kind of a nice feature because it gives you some incentive to survive, right? Like if you got a nice big juicy 5 times XP bonus, you're going to want to not get shot down. Now you do lose that if you get disconnected from the server, which happened to me yesterday actually. It sucked, but it is what it is. It doesn't take too long to build up. Okay, we're getting lined up on the runway here. Coming on runway 27. Got some friendlies in the area. Gonna fly in, do an overhead brake. Carrier landing. Get down to 800 feet, 350 knots. We're about good. So we're going to pull those engines back to idle. Brake to the left. Now, it's a little bit windy today, so you need to take that into account when you're trying to estimate how far away and how much, how many G's to load on the aircraft when you're pulling around to fly in the reciprocal heading to the runway. So we're going to be heading around to a heading of 90. The wind is blowing in from the right. You can tell by that flight path marker, so I caged the flight path marker. Make it a little bit easier to get on speed. Now you notice my on-speed indicator is flashing. That's because I didn't set it to the hook bypass the field. So if you ever see that and you're landing on a carrier, you forgot to put your hook down. All right. Seems like we're far away from the runway, but we got that nice wind blowing us towards it. I think we're good. I'm going to go into that final break. There we go. Start a descent. Pull around. And one thing I forgot to do was to uncage that flight path marker so that when I come around here on the final, I'm off a little bit to the right in the direction of the wind. You can see the actual flight path indicator is off to the right. But I'm busy lining up the caged caged heading. See, I would have pulled harder here. So I'm already way off to the right. I have a moment of realization here, and then I fix that and get lined up properly. There we go. Uncage it. You can still salvage this. We're good. Alright, so you need to run out the clock to get your experience. You need 10 seconds on the ground while it validates your landing. It'll tell you in a little message. We're going to decelerate here and we'll taxi off the runway. And I'm going to power down my engines and save my survival bonus. So that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I actually have another mission I flew yesterday in the Strike Eagle in rainy weather. Weather Wednesdays, I guess they're going to be a thing now on the Burning Sky servers, which is a lot of fun. They've done that on other servers as well. I always actually really enjoy flying through the mess, but in the Strike Eagle, it kind of really shines, and you'll see that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Catch you later.